Market Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Market Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba. Watch it watch. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba. Watch it watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Market Watch Wednesday, making money while we sleep, riding the roller coaster together, stacking stocks and coins each week. Ba 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 da ba da da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba ba da da. Ba 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 da ba ba da ba da da. Ba 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 da ba 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 ba.
Hello, tubers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Just let me know if everything here's good, that you can hear me in that. Oh, God damn it. Oh, shit. Here, I got stage. Testing. Hopefully everybody can hear this. Anyways, yeah, it's Monday. It is June the 8th in Thailand. I'm in Jomtien Beach, Thailand. Another nice day in paradise. So I'm kind of new at this, doing it on my own. So just let me know in the comments here. We can hear you good. All right. Says Rev Doc. Mike Medic says it's good. Good morning from Pradamat, Bad Rongo. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, today's live stream just probably more of an open forum. I do follow the news in Thailand. You know, a lot of it's FUD, you might say, but scare tactics by other YouTubers. But mainly in Thailand, I just enjoy every day in paradise. So go about my routines. I think when you get here yourselves, you'll develop your own routines. But I really love the idea. The weather is so nice here. And you can kind of get up in the morning and you're going to love the weather, whether you're walking or just going for your coffee in the morning. In my case, I like the gym, so I go there. And I get kind of my stuff done in the mornings to get that out of the way. And then the rest of the day, I do have a nap in the afternoons. So the hottest part of the day, you might say. And as you get older, probably a lot of you guys will do the same. And it's fun. It's enjoyable, something to look forward to. But Yeah, that's it. Thailand is very affordable still. It's funny, it's low season now, and the you've really seen the traffic drop off. My usual coffee place in the morning on Jumpton Beach Road, Branch Coffee, they make a wicked cappuccino there. I've seen 20 plus people anytime I go there in the mornings, whether it's 7 when they open or 10 o'clock if I'm running really late. But yeah, usually 15 to 30 people. And yesterday was the first time there was my buddy David and myself. Two of us were the only guys there. So now that's an exception. That's not the norm. But I thought, wow, that's interesting. And he actually mentioned that to me. He says, Brooke, you won't believe this. We're the only guys here. And so that was interesting. The roads are not as busy, which is kind of good. The pools aren't as busy, also good. Um, the main highways with the traffic can still be busy, but it's yeah. We were at the mall yesterday, and I wouldn't say it's as busy as I've seen it in high season, of course. But anyways, yeah. So that's the weather today. We have if we get rain here, it's rainy season, but I think it's mostly at night in our area. I know Bangkok gets different times, and Timmy Newton, where he is down there, they get it pretty regularly every day, even during the day. So during rainy season, but Jomtien Beach, where we're sitting here, I think it's a bit of a cove inlet. Boy, it's kind of ideal. You see the storms off the water, off the coast, you might say, but out over the water. But we don't seem to get as affected with the heavy rains as many of the places do. But that's it. So yeah, if you got any questions or comments, I do. One thing I would say, guys, to just give you this little tidbit, when you get here, and I've always said it, I would recommend renting initially for your first period, whether it's for 3 months, 6 months, a year. Just do a rental if you're not planning on buying. Obviously, even if you were, I would still do the rental. But there's a lot of buddies, expats, community members that they've done their initial rental, whether it's 6 months, probably more likely a year in a lot of cases, and they're moving. And I think what happens is you get your feet wet, you get settled, you start to do your traveling around, whether it's scooter, bot bus, bolts, and you see different areas, and sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side of the fence, and well, and the other thing is the guys get talking amongst themselves. And oh, geez, I got a beautiful view. I like the facilities are fantastic. The prices are this or that, and so there's reasons people will, finish their current term and then move. And it seems to me a lot of them tend to gravitate to different things. But if you're not on the beach, you might be going to the beach. A couple have done that. If you're in a condo, maybe it's a 1 bedroom, you go to a 2 bedroom. And I've had people go from a 2 to 1 because they say, hey, I don't need the extra size. Nobody visits anyways. And that's one thing, guys, I've heard a fair bit of people in 2 bedroom condos thinking, oh, the kids are going to come. I've got family. I've got friends that want to visit. And, talk is cheap. And when it comes to action, they don't tend to show up. So, Scotty Richmond said, yeah, that was it. Nobody came for the whole year. So he went back to a 1 bedroom, which is all he really needed from the start, probably. So that does happen. And then there's people go from condos to houses, and that'll obviously be a rental situation. Pretty well everyone I'm talking about here is a rental idea. And because you can stay mobile when you rent. If you don't like the surroundings or there's too much noise or the neighbors aren't good above you or side of you, below, whatever, you've got the ability to move quite easily at the end of your term. So that a lot of that is happening that I've seen in the last month or two. So, good on them. Everyone's excited, and you speak to them, and they love their new place. So, as I mentioned in a prior video, Jackie and I, this is our 4th year here in Dusset, and we've kind of decided after renewing in May 1st that this will be our probably last year here. And the reason being, yeah, we'd like to maybe try the beach. We haven't had we got a bit of a view here, but nothing where you're kind of on the water. And you certainly don't hear the waves crashing. So, maybe we'd look for something close there. Do we need a 2-bedroom again? It'd be nice. We'll see. We've had people stay with us. But family, friends, not as much. You could have got away without it, I suppose. But just having the extra space, the extra washrooms, 2 and 2s, it was a nice thing. Now, I said to Jack, I says, if we can find a big 1-bedroom, 1-and-1, but maybe 55 meters or something, then we would look at that. But it's probably going to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So having said that, we'll see what's available, and we'll probably start looking a few months before the lease is up. So part of it is they're building still what I consider crazy amounts of units, high-rise towers. And sure, typically the new ones you see are going to be expensive initially to rent once they come up, but that also frees up other units in the older buildings. So those, I think there'll be definitely a glut of units for availability. So I don't see prices going anywhere ridiculous. But anyways, that's just kind of some local news. Tourism is down a bit, I guess it is. It is low season, but overall for the year, I think they were hoping it'd be higher. Prices, I think, have stabilized. Gas prices are still pretty reasonable, maybe up a baht here or there, but nothing outlandish. I filled up my 300cc scooter on Wednesday, I believe, and it did take 200 baht, but that's up from 140 before all the Iran stuff started. So it's not the end of the world. And so that's that. But anyways, I'll get into the comments now. And again, if you've got any questions, fire away. It's kind of like I say, more of an open forum, filling in for Cooper's on his cruise with Darlena. And he's posted a few pics, at least Darlena has, and they look like they're having a good time. So let's just see here. There's a buddy, Alfa Romeo, in Stony Creek, Ontario. Good evening, Brooke. Hope you and the wife are well. It's evening where he is, morning here. What's going on in the land of smiles? Well, we're all good here. Yeah, I can get that bigger. Here we go. There we go, a little bigger. So that's that's good, Alpha. T. Meyer, good evening from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's supposedly a nice area. I think my brother winters down that area. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Yes, we did. Busy work week ahead for Timmy, says T. Meyer. Hope the market rips. Yeah, market was down a bit on Friday, but yeah, and I guess there's a couple of bombs dropping in the Middle East. So we'll see what happens today. Tonight, it'll be tonight our time when the market's open in the West. I don't get too excited about it. The stocks I have, I believe in. So it's just a matter of hurry up and wait. Mike the Medic, good evening, Brooke from the US of A. Sent a package for Coop. Well done. Should get it soon. Okay, well, I'll let him know to keep his eye open. He's probably going to watch the video, so he'll see that. But thank you, Mike. That's appreciated. I had a buddy, good friend from the coffee place I mentioned, Branch, Matt from Tassie, Australia. And it's funny, when I got back from Australia in December, I had brought back 1 box of this Tetley extra strong tea. And I thought, I'll just try this. And oh, God, it was good. You kick yourself. I should have bought 4 boxes, right? But so he was heading back. I said, "Do me a." He asked if I needed anything. He said, "Yeah, give me a box of that tea again, or a couple, and I'll pay you for it." So sure enough, he did. So that was great. So that's off to Matt. But yeah, so thanks, Mike, for that. I'll let him know. Mikey follows a lot of the tubers. He's obviously got a big interest in Thailand, which is great. I mean, if you have an interest here, you are the lucky ones that are watching because you're obviously shown interest. And when you get here, and yeah, I mean, a lot of you have probably been here already, you know what I'm talking about, but just to have a retirement here in this country is we are blessed, and we are in the land of smiles. And when I say it's a paradise, it is. Like, to me, it's very easy to live here. And hey, affordability is a big part of it too, I guess. What a sale. Hello, Brooke. Looking forward to your show today from a rainy Corpus Christi, Texas. Love to all in the chat. Yeah, Texas. My daughter and son-in-law are looking at moving to Texas from Canada, but not for about 2 years. So my grandson, they want to wait till he finishes school, high school. Roger Walker, good morning, Brooke, and everyone. Hit that thumbs up. Yeah, that's right. Hit that thumbs up, guys, if you enjoy the show. Helps out the algorithm, apparently. Probably makes me look good with Cooper, too, if we get a lot of thumbs up. Vegas Chris, greetings, Brooke and the gang from Lost Wages. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Wishing you all a wonderful week ahead. So that'd be, thank you for the wishes. I'm sure we'll have a great week. Okay, Scott Maritas from Pennsylvania. Hello, Brooke, and all watching. Scotty was over here. Geez, it's been a while. It's coming on. About 7-8 months he left for Pennsylvania, but I think he's heading back soon. Him and his lovely wife, Filipino wife, Maritas. They get along great. Live and learn with Mike. Good evening, Brookie from Michigan. Michigan Mike. Malta Mike. We've had coffee together. That's why I'm informally with Michael. 1, 2, 3. It's Mr. JD from the Villages. I've been there too. Good morning, Brooke, and all. So happy to be back in Jumpton Beach. I wonder if he's back for good, or did you get rid of the place in Villages? I wonder, Mike. Good to see you here. Anyways, yeah, you're back home. You'll be loving it. Snowbird, hello from Alaska. 52 Fahrenheit. That's slowly going up. And cloudy. Onward we go. Snowbird kind of announces the temperature every time. And geez, it wasn't that long ago in that low 40s. That'd be nippy. It's funny, when you're here and you get acclimated, you don't really care for that cold weather. 2 years ago when I was in Australia in July, it was cold. And Jackie was with me, and we went for an early morning walk, probably around, it wasn't that early, maybe 7. And when she was exhaling, you could see the mist as if you were blowing smoke out. She had never seen that or experienced that, so that was interesting. Let's see here. What a sale. Cue the chair dance music. Yeah, hopefully I got that right. Jesus, a couple of the songs came on maybe. Outside the Box, XRP. Was up from Texas. 1 week to go for retirement from 30 years at a Fortune 500 company. Then off to the land of smiles in 6 months. Well, 30 years at a Fortune 500. Okay, well, hopefully they gave you a good pension plan, or you've invested wisely. You'll do well. You're off to the land of smiles 6 months from now. So 1 more week of work. Well, you'll be settling right in. Look at getting a hobby or routines in the retirement. That's one thing. You don't want to just be done work and then not have a purpose or a reason to get up the next day. So that's the only tip I would give there. Otherwise, you're going to love it in the land of smiles, and there's enough to do here to keep anybody busy. What do we got here? Oh, that's one we've had. Roger Walker, outside the box. Congratulations. Yes. What a sale. Oh, there's another congratulations. Fellow Texan retired in Thailand. Jackie and I went to church yesterday, and Filipino church, and there's met a few friends there. I go maybe once every couple months. She's a little more regular, but there was a young lad in front of me. He's in the oil and gas business, and not maybe the drilling, more so, support networks and that. And the lad was from Oklahoma. And I said, "Oh, well, a couple of my buddies here um, are from Oklahoma." "Oh, really?" He was quite interested. Well, who walks in right after I said that? But, Ernie and I think Jacob, and they're both from Oklahoma, or as Robert Nutt likes to say, North Texas. So I introduced them, and they were laughing and carrying on. And it turns out they're all from the same area. They didn't know each other until the meeting, but Jacob and Ernie knew each other after meeting. They were from the area. But so, yeah, that was small world is bottom line, eh? You can travel all the way to Thailand, thousands of miles away from Oklahoma, and meet people that, oh, yeah, that place is still going, and this is that. And, he was a young lad, so he was very interesting, and good stories. All right, where are we here? Show this one. Congratulations. Oh, yeah, I think we had that. And Xander Guffin Askew says, "Hello, Brooke. Nice to see you. I'm looking forward to a good show." Well, hopefully it's going to be a good show. So far, so good, I guess. Ernie Jones, there's Ernesto. "Good morning, CBD and gang. Looking forward to the words of wisdom from Brookie." Yeah, we got the words of wisdom yesterday from the pastor, Pastor Nick. I was thinking to myself after the 2-hour service, I think that's a half hour too long, Ernie, but that's just my opinion. Vegas Chris from Lost Wages, Repro Houston. "Do we have a problem? Brooke wake up and decide to take his nap early?" Okay, so hopefully we're still going strong here. Hell yeah, brother. Let me just go to the bottom here and see. We got everything. Yeah, it looks like I think we're good, guys. So yeah. Jesus, wouldn't it be terrible if I was talking away and nobody was able to hear? Hell yeah, brother. Says outside the box. Vegas Chris. Okay, here we go. Game on. All right. So this must be when they were. Ernie Joan, is it Wednesday? No, that was I'm just a little rusty, not rusty, just a little unknown. Like Darlene is not here. And look, she's a techie guru, and even Cooper's better than me. So, and that doesn't say much for me, does it? But what a sale, Ernie Jones. I thought I was in a time warp. Let's do the time warp again. Outside the box and better buy the dips. Yep, that's a good policy. Kenny Beck, Brock's Knitter is still the incumbent mayor of Grand Dussatu for another 11 months. 11 months, I guess it is, Kenny. So, yeah, no, listen, Dussat's a nice place. Don't get me wrong. But, after you've been there long enough, we've been here 4 years. So it's kind of seen it, done it, been there. I think we're going to look forward to, a change as good as the rest. And, I'm not getting younger. Jackie's all for it. She'd like to have a view of the beach and the water, and better for us too if we're walking on the beach. It's nice in the mornings there. So yeah. But no, for anybody coming here, don't worry. Dussatu is still a good spot. Again, that Regina, she'll ask the moon, and Joe tends to quote high, but you have to, work your better price. And also Dusset 1 now. My nephew's in Dusset 1 in the studio, and he thinks that's the greatest thing because he's right at pool level. So he walks out into the pool, and it's he's close to the pool where he is. And so he's loving that. And he's renewing for a year. So, he's got his own, he's young and his girl's with him, and yeah. So there's something for everybody. Mike Dometic, Sunday night here. Yep. What a sale. Bitcoin's on sale. It is. Isn't that interesting, eh? More of that on the Wednesday show. Outside the box, sound check perfecto. Biggest Chris, hear you loud and clear, brother. And outside the box says, well, what's up? Hit that like button. Make Darlena smile. Everyone's thinking that, right? Thanks, Chris. It's loud and clear. Okay, got that one. Thank you. Wasana Sichaiman. Volume is fine. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for everyone keeping an eye on this. Rev Doc, hey, Brooke, what happened to the chair dance song, buddy? I thought hopefully it played. Jesus, I was clicking every button under the sun to get this started. I was ready in the Market Watch song. Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm just glad you came on. Looking forward to a great show. Oh, man. Hopefully I like that intro song. Mike Doty and Little Mike. What's up, Brookie? Hope all is well in the land of smiles. It is. Have you looked into Spy Eye? Yeah, I think I did check that out. There's a lot, we get asked about things like that. And I usually take a quick gander, but I tend to be more focused, guys, on the research I've done. These people that have 30, 40 stocks, like Jimmy Cramer says one thing I agree with. You want to be able to spend an hour a week on your stock, on each of them, just to research them. You know what I mean? Like things change, so keep up to date. Well, if you got 30 stocks, that's 30 hours a week. You should be doing research on your portfolio. Well, good luck doing that. So I tend to keep it at about maybe 4. And, but then I go kind of heavier. I do more than an hour. I'd probably do an hour a day on each one. So, but that's it. Yeah. So I think it's really solid and safe for dividend. Yeah, from what it looked like. Now, I'm more into a growth portfolio, Mikey, not so much dividend. And the reason I'm into a growth portfolio is I do want to leave it to probably the grandkids to a great extent, and obviously the daughter, but and have them continue on with these stocks that are, in my opinion, good growth stocks. So the younger people should be into that more so than me probably. So, but hey, in the meantime, I got enough to live on, so good. Outside the box, Mike check is good. Thank you. Thank you, Don Pardo. Biggest Chris, you're back and sounding good. Well, that's great news. Yeah, Stinking Rocket. There he is. What's up? Wasana Chiman says it's clear. Yeah. Mike Dematic, he's good. We're good. We can hear you. Says Rev Doc. Bad Rongo says good morning. Oh, here. Good morning from Pradamax, says Bad Rongo. Good morning. Pradamax, nice area. Malcolm, my buddy. Good day, Brookie. How you doing? I just wonder if how'd you make out on that land idea you had up there? And Malcolm, he's a pretty sharp boy, so he might be looking at building something, I think. Good for him. And the lovely Katea from Pattaya. No, jumped in, she says. Mr. Nut with his Texas humor. You're all good here. Well, it's lucky you didn't show up yesterday, Robert. The North Texans would have been ganging up on you. Biggest Chris, this is perfect. Who needs Cooper? We have Rookie. Yeah. That young lad from Oklahoma, I said, as soon as he said, I asked him where you're from. He says, USA. Oh, yeah. What part? Oklahoma. Oh, you mean North Texas? Oh, he looked at me odd. I started laughing. I said, no, my buddies are from there. That's what they say. So luckily they walked in right then. My 8 says, hi, all. Did Brooke just admit he is a 70-year-old virgin at the podcast? Oh, yes, at the podcast. Sure. Yeah, not real tech. It's funny. My grandson was building computers at 8 years old. Like, unbelievable. Hey, don't show. I wouldn't have a clue where to start. But the older crowd, myself included, were not as tech savvy as these new young ones coming up. But then again, that's all they have from the start. I'm not sure they could manually add without a calculator. I don't know. But yeah, different times, eh? Stinking Rocket, house tour with the camera. Oh, yeah. I guess with the camera, there's interesting behind there. Those are Most of those magnets are, well, we've done some touring, but a lot of them are from Cooper and Darlena. Like Darlena especially will grab it for Jackie. And then over behind me on that side, that's an oven. So, these condos typically don't come with ovens, guys, in any of them. So that's a little tabletop. There's a perfect nook for it was right there. The only thing I had to do was put an extra outlet in, and the faceplate was there. I just had to get the electrician come on, pop the faceplate off, put in the two plug thing, whatever they do, and then it works fine. So yeah, if you want an oven in these places, that works. Other than that, it's cupboards above and storage, and then the door behind me is the exit. What a sale low season is for me. Yeah, when you're here, guys, and the ones that have been here know this, low season is considered, I think, for expats, pretty nice. Why? Because things aren't as busy. Your prices are more, let's say, reasonable. There's places they'll up their food prices just because of high season. Their admittance prices, their, bolt prices possibly because, supply and demand. Whereas low season, you do tend to get better values, it seems, and not as crowded. And but yeah, that's kind of why the expat community loves the low season. Now, the people in business here, a lot of them, they they have to make their whole year's income during high season because low season they can basically just hard to cover expenses possibly. So that's why they need to make it when the making's good. So you do see a lot of turnover, especially in certain industries, let's say bars. Outside the box, ditto. Okay. Outside goes on to say, looking very, very hard at Cetus in Pattaya. Anyone weigh in on it? Yeah, we've got friends in Cetus. And when I started the live stream, was mentioning about Cetus as one of the locations, believe it or not. I didn't mention it, but that's one where people tend to both come and go. I think Mikey Sprouse left there for a house. So, they're obviously a different, but his Thai girl, I think he got engaged. So they were looking at moving forward on a house purchase. So, but then other people, and it's nice area, beachfront. I haven't heard anything bad about it. So, yeah, should be great. Just make sure on the electric, some of those ones on the beach there, that might have been one of them. A couple of guys reported high electric bills, but that could have been they weren't on meters or who knows, it was an issue. But yeah, just that's the only thing I would say check into. Make sure it's a government rated electric charge. What a sale. I'm going to start out at Brooksville and look around, like you said. Yeah, a lot of guys do. I mean, there's guys that were here just trying it for a month, 3 months, and then ended up moving somewhere else. But they had time to do their research, talk to other expats. Pretty well everyone here has got accommodation. So everybody you meet's got a story as to where they live. And I know when I'm at coffee and somebody's introduced to me after, how long you been here, blah, 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 where do you live? What unit? Oh yeah. And they tell you, and how do you like it and all that. And for the most part, it's good vibes. So you learn a lot just by asking questions, and don't be afraid to do that. But it helps having boots on the ground here to ask, number one, and then secondly, to go see. These videos you see on YouTube, they only tell you so much of it. Like, where's the nearest 7-Eleven? What's the parking like? These are all things that have a bearing on what you might like and not like. But yeah, it's always best if you got a recommendation from somebody if you're looking at something. Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Because Chris is just at Grand 1 and 2 within walking distance of each. They're right across the road, like they're 50 feet from the entrances. So yeah, you betcha. They're easily walking. In fact, they're both the same walking distance to Tops and 7-Eleven and Rompo and the beach. So yeah, they're right across from each other. And they're building just down the road some new Rivieras and that. one of the out of the back entrance here, there's a new Dusset going up. But I think it's late this year, early next year, it'll be opening. And it's see right here, Dusset 2 has 800, I think 50 units, whereas the new one they're building is going to have 1,300. So they're building, guys. So yeah, there'll be lots of supply. Bad Rongo, that's why I like living at the top of Pratimac Hill. Even if it rains, we never get flooding. Smart. Yep, that's true. Since all the water runs downhill, it does. And being up high feels like there's always a bit more of a breeze. Yeah, he's got a point there. Now, sure, with the rainy season now, and I do check, I go on the balcony every morning and listen to the sounds. It's been windy since I'd say the last month, which is nice. It's a breeze. So not yesterday, I think the day before, we just had the patio door open for the first time in quite a while and just had the breeze blowing in, man. And then you crank open the door behind me just with a bottle of water. And so you get the nice flow going through. And yeah, so that's interesting. But having being up high now where we are, we don't get flooding. So I haven't noticed it. Maybe one small area on Second Road one time. I was caught out in one of the monsoons, and that was the only area I saw had a bit of flooding, but rest of the way home was no problem. So you just got wet, that's all. But the rain here is warm. That's one of the benefits if you're out on a scooter ride, which we've been. 15 minutes later, after it stopped raining, because you're traveling on the bike, you're dried out. It's not a cold rain at all. Living the life says, good to be back and gathering the productive knowledge. Thank you. Okay, good. Good on you. Stinking Rocket. Yeah, look down on the peasantry, Rongo. I like your style. Rongo's up in Pratimac Hill. Yeah, it is up. It's higher up, that's for sure. Okay. Vegas Chris, I'm leaning towards Riviera over Copacabana. Thoughts? It's funny. I know people in both, and they both love it. But yeah, maybe if you're able to, Chris, just go see both. I think you'd be happy in either one. Because again, I got friends in both, and they both speak highly of it. Now, they probably weren't in the other one for a period of time, so yeah, you're better to just come and view it yourself. And usually that happens. One of them will stick out for some reason why it's better. But both, great views, well run, beautiful buildings, and I've been in both, and the views in both are great. So, and they're both central, so. As far as 7-Elevens and beach walks and markets, you won't have a problem with either one. So good choices. What happened there? There we go. Dot Yen says, is Dusset Grand Park 2 fairly vacant this time of year? How much do you think is a good price for one bedroom for 3 months? Good question. I think, yes, there's definitely vacancies here, Dot. Now, interesting, and it's kind of a catch-22. Because of the channel, they've had a lot of interest from expats. So, yes, there is an expat community here. There's probably Russians that have seen the channel, have come, have saw the videos, let's say. Some Chinese. I mean, yeah. So my point is, because of maybe us living here, possibly at least doing our live streams, mentioning the place, there's more interest. Well, guess what? More interest causes less supply. Price tends to go up. So that's the trouble. I said, Joe, you got to give these guys a deal. That's why we're promoting you, to come here, because we got a deal. We'd like everyone that follows us to get a deal. And he's amenable to that. I think Regina is just being the way she is. She tends to start high and tries to stay there. But see, Joe, yes, you can get a deal here. 3 months. If you're coming now for 3 months, you're going to get a deal. If you're coming in high season for 3 months, they obviously prefer a 6 month during high, get it fully booked, and then worry about low season when it's here, which is now. So you should get a deal on low. And even if you're coming and you were staying for a year, you could get a deal now for the whole year. You wouldn't have to worry about highs. So you just have to be a negotiator, work on it. As I've always said in the past, money talks. So if you can say, hey, I can give you 6 months up front, or that's what my nephew did and got a deal. He paid up front for the whole 6 months initially. Now he's doing for a year. And because Joe knows him, okay, you don't have to do the whole year up front. I'll still give you the same deal for the rest of another year. So that was good. So yeah, it's part of it's negotiation, part of it's cash, part of it's the time of the year you come. And if you're coming in low, you're going to get a deal. Now, having said that, everything I said probably relates to every building that's here now. Obviously, prime waterfront is going to, be more for a 3 month than back in Dusset because it's obviously waterfront. So location has a lot to do with it too, guys. Yeah, but there's deals. 808 Bear. Good morning, Brooke. Just looking at hotels for August trip, and I'm seeing 45% off for some very nice hotels. Yeah. Listen, their tourism's down. It's low season. You should be getting a deal on those rates. Just even the conflict in the Middle East, thousands of flights that were scheduled to Thailand had to be either canceled or rerouted or rebooked, so to speak, because of that issue initially, and that dropped. And some people, hey, they've only got 2 weeks off instead of coming here, they had to stay home or travel somewhere else, not through areas of conflict. So they just never came. Other people maybe were able to switch it around, but there should be deals. So definitely look into that. And personally, I don't look at a 5-star hotel if I'm traveling. I'm happy with a 2 or 3 even, because I don't spend a lot of time in there. Usually if you're traveling, you're out checking the sites, the tourist sites, wherever area you are. So, but anyways, everyone's different. So should be deals though. Like Dodie and Little Mike, Brooke, I'm guessing you want to be somewhere on the beach. Yeah. How much do those 2 beds go for in that area? What would be a good budget? So I had a buddy go into, which one was that? Eris, maybe. Anyways, it was a real nice beach one, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was 35,000 baht a month. So like in Dusset, you're probably around 25. Like currently on a 1-bedroom here, sorry, I forgot to tell the totals to that other question. I would say a 1-bedroom, 1-bath here right now for 3 months. I think it could negotiate 12, 12 to 13. During high, or if you want a longer period during high, you might have to pay 15. And then if it's just for a month or so during high in a 1-1, they could ask 20 and people will pay it because hey, I'm only here for a month. I don't care. I want to be there. Right. So whatever reason, but yeah, a lot of it's how you negotiate, time of year you come. And, now what I'm referring to is obviously I rent this from Joe. So the landlord is a developer. This is not an owned unit by, a foreigner, let's say foreign quota, or a Thai, if it's Thai quota. You can sometimes get deals on like Market Watch or the websites, FazWaz, whatever they are, where owners of these units, not meaning the developer, but owners have bought the units and are renting them out personally. And sometimes I've heard deals, like good deals at different, not only here, but other units anywhere, where yeah, the right landlord says, hey, I want a good tenant, I want my money. You do, if you meet the quotas, bingo, you're going to get a deal. So that's something to check out as well. I just happened to, when I went into the office to, way back when that lady had the money, Joe, the unit I was looking at was owned by Joe. So I've always dealt with him. Now, one thing about dealing with developer, for example, I had a leak under the sink last week. No problem. Guy was up in like 20 minutes, fixed, no problem, no charge. Had him touch up a bit of things in the bathrooms, spray guns, that type of stuff, minor, no problem. It's done quick. Once a year, he services as part of my deal. The air cons, done, no problem, no charge. So I kind of like the developer that way, when they're responsible. So, but yeah, I'll be looking at the beach. I would say as an average down there, like a 1-1, you're probably going to be at least 20, probably closer to 25 with a good view, let's say, and a 2-bedroom, 30 to 40, 2 and 2, that is. But again, we'll look. And I, I'm not in a rush. So I think when I get negotiating, and I'll use those tactics, call them ideas. Hey, what about money up front? What about this and that? And see what the response is. So I'll keep you all up to date. Outside the box, toured Riviera and Copa. Nope on both. Okay, so there's another. Obviously, he said that because he's compared it to something else that he probably did like. So, got to keep it in context. Biggest Chris, did you and the wife do another full year or 6 months? Full year. Yeah, we do the one. And the reason we do that, Vegas Chris, is we're from May to May. So if I did 6 months, I would be finishing just at the end of low season. I'd be looking at high season prices for when I move. So no, I did it for the year. That'll put my end at, again, the end of Songkran. May 1st would start over in, say, a new place if I do that. And, I can probably negotiate. I'll be looking January, February, and then striking some sort of deal. This is what I'm guessing at. And I'll put a deposit on a place that's probably rented until the guy leaves at the end of April. And then I'll take over, so to speak. And, I might just keep an extra month here unless Joe's got it rented, just to have an ease of transition for move. Some of the guys do that, and I like that idea. You're not doing everything in a day. Nomad Jack and the lovely Pinky. Yeah, we were at the church yesterday with them. Hey, Brooke, come on over to beach. Lots of the older 2-bed, 2-bath condos with good prices. Yeah, Nomad Jack's down there. In fact, I was asking Jackie. I didn't get a chance to talk to Jack yesterday about that, but I said, Jackie, where's Pinky and Jack live? And she was telling me the area, so I figured it was down that way. But yeah, I got to talk to you about that, Nomad. Older ones, you will get deals on older buildings. Newer ones that are coming online now, and there's like about 3 on Second Road and Beach Road that are huge ones that will be opening. And when they do, you'll see the prices. Everyone likes the newness, but the older ones will be deals. Okay, and then we're going to get down there. Learjet says, does Cooper's wisdom on losing a lot of money on Bitcoin also apply about his wisdom and opinion regarding Thailand? I don't think, I think they're 2 totally separate subjects, Learjet. Now, he hasn't really lost any money on Bitcoin. You only lose when you sell. And he's like me. He's not selling. We know where they're going to be. It's like you don't make any money until you sell. So, even though you're up on, say, Tesla, it's kind of paper money until you actually execute a sale. So, but no, we're in for the long term, more of a growth. Now, one thing with Cooper, he's like, I've only been here 4 years. So, and we came over together. So he's 4 years. What people maybe don't realize, he was married to a Thai and had 9 years here prior to that. This is going way back, probably into the 80s or 90s. Maybe it's 90s in his case, maybe 2000s. I don't know. He's 20 years younger. So, but so he definitely was, the influence on me as far as, because he had the experience. Like his first statement to me in Philippines, Well, I've had it with Philippines. I'm moving to Thailand. I looked at Thailand. Nobody speaks English in Thailand. What the hell would you want to go there? And I never knew he'd lived there. Yes, he said, hell, I was there for 9 years. It's way better infrastructure, way better this, the food, everything. It's just his wife was Filipina, who we met in Kuwait, got married, and that's why they were back in Philippines. But it's funny. He had to do his COVID sandbox before coming back into the Philippines well, he was in, sorry, the only place he could get out of Kuwait to was Thailand. So they had to do it in, like they call it, a sandbox in Phuket. And that's when Darlena fell in love. Initially, she didn't even want to come. Oh no, well, let's wait till the Philippines opens for getting no, he wanted the hell out of there for whatever reason. But anyways, so they did it. Well, you know what? She fell in love with Thailand just from that, I don't know, what was it, a month stay or something? And so then when they did get to the Philippines, and they spent time there, obviously, a little longer than I did. I was only there for not quite a year. And because he was there before I met him. And so they decided, yeah, that was enough of that. So yeah, no, I wouldn't worry about his opinions on Thailand. Sometimes I differ his opinions on stock trading, but Stinking, I wouldn't have sold the Tesla, which he had, but anyways, that's me. Stinking Rocket, if you're staying in Pattaya, Siam, and the MITT were very nice. Okay, well, interesting. Yeah. I'm not familiar with those two, but I mean, I've been to Pattaya. Shit, you're there every week through it. But to me, being older, I much prefer this area, Jomtien. Now the younger crowd, and like Romeo, I mean, he's a young guy. He's been going to Pattaya for years, and he knows everyone. Everyone knows him. He knows where to stay. He's got his food vendors. They all know what dishes he orders. He's got his massage people there. He knows it, so he loves Pattaya. Just hey, everyone's different. 808 Bear, yes, I was seeing MITT was 35% off, so we'll be choosing there. I guess maybe it's a hotel. Stinking Rocket, there's absolutely no need to book a hotel until you're there. I used Agoda and got great prices. Okay. Yeah, that's well, you wouldn't have a problem landing. It's just where would you drive to? You could probably just cold call a place and you'll get a room, but maybe looking online is a better way to go, and that you at least know where you're going. And my 8344, hi Brooke from a cool Queensland, been there. On condos, can you name some of the older beachside condos you would consider? Did Coop get his MSTR at 120? As far as the MSTR, I think he got some at that. I think his average cost might be higher, but yeah. Now, as far as the older beachside condos, it's funny. There's Cetus down there. There's Eris, I believe. There's I would even look at the Copacabana, the Rivieras. There's more than one. View Talets are down there. Malcolm's in View Talet. He's fantastic view, and he's like, you walk out his building and just 100 feet to the beach road. So yeah, there's a lot of them there. Just off the top, that's a few names, but I'll probably, believe it or not, I mean, I'll obviously be asking friends, but when I get there, I might have to see if there's an agent to show you, because I won't be knocking on doors that unannounced, other than the juristic will tell you, oh well, this person handles all these and that. So, and initially you're just going to be, as I tell Jackie, honey, we're just looking, because you want to do your research first, see what areas, and then tour the rooms, take a look at the views. I'm going to check things like water pressure, because I like a good pressure in the showers. Parking. Okay, how's the parking? Where's the parking for scooter? I don't want outside parking. If I can't park underground, that's probably next. And size of the units, things like that. I'd like to see some electric bills on some of these units just to make sure you're not getting into a can of worms. Somebody was in an older building with older AC, and the landlord wouldn't update it, and it was costing like double or triple sometimes what normally it should be. So it's little things like that. Stinking Rocket says about 80 shares of MSG. Oh yeah, it was, things were down. We'll get into more of that on Wednesday, guys. But markets were on sale. And if you watch, I did say keep some dry powder. I deployed some too. I'll tell you about Wednesday. Mr. Nut with his Texas humor. Good morning, Mr. BS, Brock Snitters. It's very good to meet like-minded people when you first get here. Correct. It helped me to settle down and not be so anxious. I think he's talking about Dusset here and the group and in our area. Obviously, and Robert is faithful coming to the meet and greets. And, every meet and greet, guys, we do have regulars that show up and always newbies. And it's good that they interact together and, meet people of similar interests. And one of the kickers, I mean, if they're from Oklahoma and you get three guys, and then they all know the areas they're talking about, like Tulsa and Jesus, I forget the name Ernie's, but yeah, that helps too. So it's a bit of a bonding, and then someone to keep an eye on, chat to. Mike the Swede, morning, Brookie, doing well, flying solo. Okay, well, thanks for that. And Vegas Chris, I follow several channels about Thailand for many years, but I've enjoyed this one more than most. Shame I found it later than I wished I had. Well, no, it's better late than never, correct? So not to worry. I know when Cooper's here, I tend to have more fun, let's say, because I can use him as a bit of a whipping boy. He does look like Alfred E. Newman. I mean, if you guys, I don't know, maybe that's too before your time with the Mad magazines and that, but they always had a picture of Alfred E. Newman in there. And now that he got his teeth done, he's not as quite a looker. But boy, when he didn't have any of that buck tooth sticking out, on the big ears out the side, oh yeah, he was a dead ringer, man. I'll tell you, I was howling. Maybe he better not watch this video. Rev Doc says, saw a room for $13K. Okay, so he's talking about probably a one bedroom, one bath here. 13,000. Yeah, that's right in there. Roger Walker, Nomad Jack, would you tell the name? Oh, I think he's asking for the name where Nomad is. And the lovely Pinky. Rev Doc, saw a room for 14 at Dusset 1. Is that reasonable? Yeah, better like a one bedroom, one bath. Yeah, depending how long you're going for. The shorter the period, guys, the more you'll pay in any season, okay? Obviously, a 1-year booking is your best for value. It should be. Now, if it's for low season, Rev, and, maybe you counter offer and go back at 12, and what if I pay you up front, for the period of time? You won't be disappointed in Dusset 1. It's great. The pools, he loves the pools there better, my nephew, than Dusset 2 here. And I haven't been in his pools, but people do say they're great. And the units there typically are a little bigger on average because it was built first than Dusset 2's room. So 1-1 there should be a little bigger, and same with studios and that. So, but yeah, I always try, that if that's their asking price, you try a little less and give them a reason to take it. Vegas Chris says 108 degrees Fahrenheit and lost wages today, but they say it's a dry heat. Yeah, good luck with a dry heat. I was in Vegas in May one time, and it was the hottest place up to that point I'd ever been on the planet. And I mean, when I walked out of the aircon into that heat, dry heat, so-called, it was stifling. Oh, man, you kind of ran. You ran to the aircon, wherever the heck the next aircon was. Lost Boy, there he is. Hello, tubers. Greetings from Southern Cal. I can't wait to come back to Thailand next month. You hear a lot of that from everyone that's been here and had to go home. Can't wait to get back. So it's rare. I mean, I've been to holidays, guys, cruises, trips. Jesus, no interest in going back. But I've never heard that about people in Thailand, man. They tend to love it. You come here, you'll see why. Well, here we go. This looks like it's help the channel. Good morning, Brooke. Enjoy the live stream from 19 Wakefield. So we'll give you a shout out for that. What do they call? What's Coop call that? I don't know. Anyways, it's he's donated £10 to offset costs of the channel. Not my cost so much, more for Cooper, so he'll look after that. But I know he does have expenses for videoing and traveling and doing all the whatever he does, the graphics and that. So it all does go to a good cause. And trust me, he doesn't make any money off this. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's there to help you. And you know what? It's a bit of fun too. So it keeps you busy. Like I said, when you're retiring, and especially if you're coming to a new country, you better get a routine going because you don't want to be sitting in a condo thinking it's too hot outside, there's nothing I can do. And, no, you'll probably change your patterns. An early riser here is better than a guy that sleeps in because when you sleep in, you get up and it's hot and then you don't want to go out. Where an early riser, like I know Ernie, I think he's walking at 5:30 every morning. I've tried it a couple mornings. It's great. So and it's daylight. It's not busy. You can walk for a good 2 hours before it starts to warm up, like to a point where you'd say, "Oh, I got to stay in the shade." So yeah, you become more of an early morning riser, I would think. And it's okay to go to bed early at night, if you want. I find with me napping in the afternoons, the hottest part of the day allows me to get up early, do my whatever, and also I can stay up a little later at night. Because, if you're watching a movie or something or a series, you're binge watching, sometimes I might not get to bed till after 11. Well, that's okay. I can still be up at 5 and still have, hey, I got a couple hour nap coming this afternoon. So does work out as you get older. Timmy P, good evening, Brooke and everyone. Good to see you holding down the fort, Brooke. I hope all is well. It is. Yeah, I told Coop, I said I can hold down the fort till you're back. So 808 Bear says, do you need to book an appointment with Mr. Singh or just rock up? Well, yeah, well, no, you want to, hey, listen, any professional, which he is, you should book an appointment. But what you can do is prior to getting here, and he'll talk to you even in the West, you can fire off your circumstance, your questions, and he's great. He won't charge you at all for that. And he'll give you expert advice. And the advice he gives you, you can bank on that. I actually have to see him probably later today. I'll message him after the live stream, and I have to renew my retirement visa. It's coming up. It's in July, end of July, but you can go in early, and I prefer to get things done earlier. The one thing I'm going to change this year, just on the topic, is Jackie. I'm going to maintain the multiple entry for her because she goes back and forth to the Philippines a couple times. Last year was in Vietnam. So, there's a bit of traveling she does. For me, I'm going to single entry. I'll just pay as I go. Because I've realized in the fourth year I'm here, I've only ever done one trip. And you can actually do 2 trips and still be cheaper than having to pay the extra money for the multiple entries. So that's the only change I'm going to mention to Sing this year. The other thing, guys, I was doing the workaround with the agents for the 800,000 this year. It's funny. You kind of realize and learn quickly. Okay, if you do I did 70,000 a month, but I started it, like the end of last year because it's shit. Because he asked, he says, "Well, have you done something?" I says, "Oh yeah." He said, "Yeah." Then you look and oh, geez, that month I did 200 and shit. Then I skipped a month, and that don't cut it here. You got to do at least 70 every month or whatever it is, 68.5. Anyways, I did 70 just to be on the safe side. And then I don't have to worry about the workaround. So this was Coop's, I believe, first year doing the same thing. And so, yeah, so we'll see. Anyways, I got the paperwork, went to my bank, was simple. Said, yeah, I'd like a printout of my last 12 months deposits. Actually, they give you a printout of all the transactions. It cost me 300 baht. I think I waited 10 minutes to get to the counter. You get a ticket with a number, and then the screen says what number they're servicing, what counter, what wicket. And so that was that worked out slick. And then I got home and I scanned it, obviously, at home, and oh yeah, good, good, good. Oh yeah, I was good on. I think the lowest I had was 68.5, and that's because the damn transfer hit on the first of the following month. So the following month I had way more than probably, meant to. But anyways, long story short, I had the 70K every month, and that was kind of the requirement to have your retirement visa. Yeah, so that's good. So that should save me some bucks, I would hope. Cutting back on the multiple entry to single should save a few bucks, and then we'll see. But again, I'll know more when I meet Singh today. Um, he's a good lad. He's a professional at it. I would say, book your appointment after you've got your answers through, and that could be through Messenger. What do you call those? Chats, rooms, whatever it is with him. He's quite open. He'll give you his answers. Text messaging. That's what a word I was looking for. And yeah, go from there. Now, some guys use what's that other one down there? There's lots of agents here. So, and again, when you meet the guys and you become friends with them, hey, what agent do you use? Blah blah blah. A lot of them you sing, and a lot of them don't. So it's whatever suits your fancy, and recommendations always help. So it'll come to me, that other one. Xandra Guffin says 51 days till I get to the land of smiles. Who's counting? Yeah, you're gonna love it. That's coming into right in low season, so there'll be lots of deals for you, Xandra. What a sale! Yippee! Yeah, he's congratulating her. 51 days. Jeff Trio, hey Brooke, I was wondering how much you pay for your phone service and home internet. Phone services here, guys, are cheap as chips, and they're great service. They're 5G. Thailand is well-developed infrastructure, so these towers are everywhere. They're 5G. They're state of the art, and I can't believe how affordable. Now I get a 20 gig plan, never run out. 100 minutes, which I don't think I've ever used 10 minutes in any given month, because everybody's on line apps or messenger, right? And when you're home, the phone hooks up to my internet at home at the condo, and a lot of places have free internet. So the reason now, some guys swear by unlimited gig on their phone. Well, I guess if they didn't have Wi-Fi in their units, or they're for some reason using it that much. But with my 20 gig, I've never come close. I think probably 16 is the most I've ever used in any month. So it's, but what do I pay? I pay 399 baht plus the 7% tax. So 420 something a month for that plan. And I mean, when I was in Canada, I was paying $70 Canadian for like nothing, not as good, or well, probably as good, but 70 bucks versus Canadian here. What is that, like 20? And even in the States, I think the plans are cheaper here than the US. So, but yeah, that's cheap as chips. So you don't have to budget too much on that. As far as the internet service at home, now a couple stories on that. So I do the mid range, which is I think 500 down and 500 up. I think the starter's like 250 and 250, but I went to mid 5 and 5. And I paid a year in advance here because I got a month free. Now, because I'm in my like fourth year, I've got like 4 months free coming to me. So I don't think I renew that till July, May, June, July, August, September. No, probably September. So, And that was, it'll come to me. Hang on. That was 499 baht a month, 500. So $15 US roughly. So yeah, even the internet's cheap here, guys. Now, the last part of the story, Cooper just went to the ungodly speed of 2 and 2. Can you believe that? 2 and 2, 2 up and 2 down, whatever that means, 2 gigs maybe. And he just thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, who would need that? But he's obviously said, "Oh no, I need it for the videos and the uploading and the whatever, because of the channel." He went to higher speeds, but even that, Jesus, that might only been 1,000 baht a month, maybe like $30 a month, maybe it was 35. So it's not the end of the world here. So now there are people that use Starlink if they're out in the boonies here. Say there's not as good internet service, say up in some of the villages in Isan. And who was telling me? Oh, Malcolm. Malcolm, I think, was telling me about that because Katay is from a little more remote area, paved road, mind you, which is good. But Starlink, that works up there, works slick. I think Starlink works anywhere, and it's pretty affordable, guys. So if you were out in the boonies or rural and you were worried about that, unlike in the past, back in the West, if you're in the rural areas and they're, good luck trying to get some service or internet. Yeah. Here, you won't have that issue with Starlink. Over abroad from Kentucky, get you a good condo that will allow that Tesla robot you're going to get. Yeah. Well, as long as I have Jackie, I don't think I'll be needing that Tesla robot, Alvy. But I think Alvy's back in the Philippines there, likely. So hats off to you. No Tesla robot here. Binrat says, "Hi, Brooke. Should be called CB Thai Adventures. Cooper and Brooke Thai Adventure. Nah, not the same without you both together." Yeah, it's not the same. No, and I kind of enjoy it with them because we tend to play off each other. And I do enjoy kind of needling him the odd time. That time I changed his name to, Cooper, and then in brackets, AKA Alfred E. Newman. He didn't catch that the whole video. He didn't catch that till he started rewatching me. You little shit. Yeah, I do get laughing with him. He's a good guy. Mai says, on stock, steal at the moment, Planet Labs. Steal. Oh, he thinks the steal is Planet Labs. Everyone's got an idea on what the steals are. Logan C. Travels. Sorry I'm late, my friends. I couldn't find my orange Speedo for the show. No, that's on Wednesdays. There's orange on Wednesday. Bitcoin orange. We can start the show now. Thank you for that, Logan. Thanks for waiting, everybody. You bring that orange Speedo over and you can come out on the pool, swim. Blakester Drums just joined the chat, so I'm not sure if this has been covered. Any update on Bolt? Yeah, I can tell you an update. It's running just like it was prior to this fiasco. So I don't have a legal update on it. All I can tell you is that we used Bolt yesterday several times. Went to church with it, went to the mall with it, and came home with it. And I think the whole time, all 3 trips, guys, here's how cheap Bolt is, 300 baht. And that includes a nice tip on each of them. So it was like 70 to 80 baht a trip, and I give the guys 100 every time. And so for that, what is that? That's like $3 each trip, US. Why buy a car here when you can travel that cheap? And I mean, now, there was distances involved. You're not traveling 100 yards or a mile or two. You're going a few miles in each of these trips for the most part. So, the update is Bolt's still working fine. And I know Coop was very concerned because what was in the news was this, they didn't get approval. Well, so what happened? Either they got approval, maybe somebody got paid off to get it. I don't know, but it is so big here in Thailand. I couldn't see anywhere sideways they wouldn't allow Bolt to continue. It'd be like, saying, okay, nobody can use electric anymore because everybody uses it. So that was strange. So yeah, no updates yet, except that it's working. And I thought from memory it was June 1st was the end of the renewals. So who knows? We'll monitor it and keep everyone updated. Double Take Entertainment. Hey, Brookie, do they celebrate Pride Month there? I'd imagine with all the lady boys they do. Oh, yeah. I think they have some big parades in Bangkok. Even Pattaya probably has something. Um, I, I mean, you kind of see it in the news when you're watching some of the news reports. It's not something I actively seek out to see when it is or what's happening. I don't attend them, but they're definitely here. And one thing, I was talking to a couple of the guys at coffee again at Branch this week, how well accepted the LBGTQ people are here, like that segment, compared to maybe the West. I remember as a kid growing up that you didn't even know about this stuff and it wasn't even talked about. Well, then there was some talk, but you didn't see it. And then geez, you started looking, maybe there was a bit, and what's this? And we're here, it's common. It's commonplace, and it's not an issue. It's not a big thing for people. And my buddy the reason it came up, he says, he was talking about a buddy back home, believe it or not, from Canada. He said, "Oh, he'll never make it here." I says, "Why?" He says, "That guy is such a phobic, anti-pride guy, whatever." I said, "Yeah, no, he won't make it here then if he's like that. At least he couldn't come here and carry on like that because it is accepted here as well. It should be, I guess. And yeah, not a problem." So, and then we got into that subject about ladyboys, and I'm telling you guys, you can't tell sometimes. And we both had stories about, you're kidding, really? That's, and it's true that, boy, it's amazing. So, but hey, each goes on. It's kind of like live and let live country, which is good. As long as you're not hurting anything. Captain Action says, hit that like button, make Darlena smile. Yeah, it will help the algorithm. It probably will help me stay on the channel because Coop will say, well, geez, look at the likes Brooke got here. Shit, we better keep that old guy around. Yeah, that would be great. Thanks a lot, guys. Hit that like button. Hello to everyone in the chat. Gotta say, hit that like button. Yeah, thank you for that. Logan's Travels. What's up, Captain Action? Hope you're doing well. I'm sure everyone in the chat is. I'll be abroad. I bring us a couple pieces of cedar and we can sit on the bench, sit on the bench and whittle away, talk tech and stocks while the techies do their thing. Yeah. So whittling of cedar, obviously carving something, probably brought that cedar from Kentucky. Robert Nutt with his Texas humor. Vegas Chris, Dusset 1 and 2 are about 50 yards apart from each other. He's correct. And by the way, for all you Oklahomans out there, the gentleman that got me hooked on North Texas was Mr. Robert Nutt from South Texas. Captain Action says, hello, Logan. All is well here in Florida tonight. Hello to all you and your family. Yep. Florida. Many years I wintered there. Robert Pierpont, there's our active trader. When Brooke says he likes growth stocks, he means some long holds because stocks like Palantir have very insanely high forward PE ratios. Correctamundo, which in my opinion are stocks better for swing trading than long holding. Yeah, I do. I sell calls on the Palantirs and, get paid to wait. And I do, that is one stock, Robert, I might end up doing I do short-term calls. So if it's at that price, I'll let it go and wait for it to pull back. But in the meantime, it's nice getting paid to wait. Although my Tesla, I don't, I prefer definitely long-term hold on it. So I'm not necessarily looking to, if I do a call on Tesla, it's going to be a real high strike price and it ain't going to be a long way out to get it. I'll just take less premium. Mr. Nutt with his Texas humor, 25 yards from entry gate to entry gate. Yeah, he's right on that. Dusset 1 and 2 being that close together. In fact, Dusset 1 guys come over here, use our pools. I'm sure it's vice versa. Facilities, I don't think you have a problem using either one. And yeah, they're sister ships, so to speak. Mike the Swede, I'm living in PKCP condominium located behind Big C Extra on Padia Klang. I know where that is. In fact, I was at Padia Klang Big C the other day. Low rent on my 45 square meter studio. That's a big studio, guys. 5,500 baht a month. That's a hell of a deal. But they charge 10 baht a unit for electricity. Interesting. Average cost us 2,700 a month for electric. Yeah, that's a little rich for a studio, you'd think. 10 baht a unit. I think the normal price is around 4, isn't it, for that, for the electric? So that's maybe not a government rate, but the rest is all just cheap as chips. So good on you. I hadn't been in that Big C for quite a while on Padia Klang, and I went in there to actually look at. I was impressed. Like, that's a pretty big mall there. It's kind of nice. I was really impressed with the Big C food court, like foods. The meats, they had all the state-of-the-art chilled counters there and behind glass. And I said to Jack when I got home, I said, we got to do a little more shopping there. Just check out the prices look good too. Went in there to open another bank account in case it was needed. Because Bangkok Bank and Siam apparently don't work on the workarounds now. And I was told, look at Casacorn or Krung Si. And Krung Si, I went, and here's the scam they wanted now. Okay, yeah, we can open that account. Just had my passport, Thai driver's, a statement from a phone company. So I had a phone there. And it'll be 1 to 2 months until we'll get it open. I says, well, really? Geez, I didn't know that. Is there anything way quicker? Well, we do have a plan. It's like a 1-day service. We can do it immediately for you if you will buy an insurance package. I says, oh, and what's that entail? Well, it's only for cancer, and it has to be put on a Thai, like a Thai name for the policy coverage. And it's only good for 1 year. I says, really? And she asked, do you know Thais? I says, yeah, I know a few. Okay, well, you would qualify. And I said, what is the price? And, oh, well, so depending on age, of course, anywhere from 3,500 to 6,000 baht. No, thank you very much. I'm not interested in that. So then I talked to Singh afterwards, and he starts laughing. He says, yeah, that's just they're trying to, get money. He says, you should have just submitted the documents, say, I don't mind waiting, and you probably would have got it in less than a week. You know what I mean? So things you find out from the professionals. But it turns out I didn't actually even need that extra bank once I got my printouts from the Siam, and I was all fine. So, yep. But no, there's good deals. Back to that Mike the Swede comment. There's good deals all over, guys. Right place, the right time. Obviously, there's one right there. And what's nice about that area, sure, it's not on the water, it's not on the beach, but it is a busy area. So there's lots of shops around there. And really, you could live out of that mall. There's everything you need in that mall there, the Big C, and he's right behind it. So good on him. Vegas Chris, I know it's not Market Watch, but my $599.99 came in and started DCing back in. So he must have got some money, I guess, sold something. I'm not sure what he's referring to on that. But Vegas Chris, looking forward to collecting until the end of the year. Oh, so maybe he's got it in a payment, some whatever. Yeah, let us know what that's in. I mean, obviously, you'll be collecting something, whether it's interest, dividends. Terry Fallon. Terry is from Bancroft. Hello, Brooke. Hope you're well. And hello to all in the chat. So Bancroft should be warming up there. Snowblower's probably put away. Ricardo Crosby. Hey, Cooper and team. Good morning. Yes, Cooper's off traveling on his world tours and his cruises. I think he's in the Mediterranean, isn't he? What a sale. Terry Fallon. Hey, Terry, I was wondering when you were, mate, where you were. Yeah, Terry's a regular. Most of these guys on here are regular. Terry Fallon, what a sale. Still loving life, buddy. How you doing? He can't wait to get here with him and his wife. What a sale. Great to hear, says he's doing fantastic. What a sale is. So we're getting our back and forth. Thumbs up, guys. Here we go. Capstone. Hey, Brooke, headed to the Philippines in September. Good on you to get scuba certified by my cousin. Well done. And drive the boats. Then I plan to head to Thailand. Any suggestions on where to stay for a month in Bangkok? I don't like Bangkok, but it's probably not a bad idea for a month staying up there. I don't know. You'd have to just maybe look in Agoda, and those ones that rent out by the month, so to speak. Obviously, if you get into the group chat now, there's Coopersthaiadventure has a website, or no, Facebook page. Sorry, it's a Facebook page where a lot of members join that, and you ask that question in there, should get a lot of answers as to where to stay in Bangkok, because most of the guys that are here that I see, they go to Bangkok. I mean, I go with Cooper when he's driving, and I've taken the bus there. Buses are good here and they're cheap. Had to do some work at the Philippine embassy, and that's how I got there, was taking the bus from Pattaya. So it's a place that most of the expats will go at some point, whether it's to stay a night or 2 or 3 in the big city, take the girlfriend there, meet some friends there. There's lots of reasons you end up there, but I don't have a recommendation for an exact place, but you can check on the Facebook pages. I'm sure there is. As far as getting certified in the Philippines, well done on you. There's lots of scuba diving in Thailand as well. But obviously with family being able to certify you, once you get that card, you can take it anywhere. And good on you. And you'll love it. Guys, if you haven't scuba dived, that's something you can take up probably at any age, I would think. I'm certified, and you love it. My last diving experience was in Subic Bay, believe it or not. So that was, a few years ago. But yeah, it's a great sport. Capstone, like Coop, my cousin met his Filipino wife in Kuwait. Yeah, there you go. There's a whack of us here with Filipino girlfriends, wives, in all ages, and guys, and all ages, and the ladies. And but we all say one thing pretty well in common: you can't beat a good Filipina. Bring her to Thailand. You get the best of both worlds. So we laugh about that, a bunch of us. And the girls, once they get here and they see the lifestyle, and then they meet the other Filipinas, they're laughing, karaoke, carrying on, like you having a great time, and all good. Terry Fallon, hello, Captain Action. And then Timmy P says, Terry Fallon, greetings. Biggest Chris, oh yeah, the Phuket sandbox. Those were the days. Had a great time down there during that time. Yeah, I was stuck in Florida during the peak of that COVID, and they had just opened, and oh God, I had my flight booked to come to Philippines, and I go. Back then, you had to do the testing like 24 hours or 48 before you flew. Well, geez, it didn't mind showing negative. I felt fine, but it showed. Oh God, now what do I do? Well, I had to anyways. The flight was easily changed because in that day they allow you with the results, which I was able to show them. So I didn't have a penalty on that. But the funny thing is, I had to stay another month in Florida. Well, that pushed me into overstay on my, how many days I was allowed out of the country, and they dinged me the next time I tried to get back there. So a little tip for you guys: watch out. But I sold my place, so I don't have a reason to go back to Florida. Terry Fallon, hey Timmy, how's it going in Alberta? I heard lots of rain. Okay, I haven't heard that. I said, Brooke, what is the best short-term accommodation in Johnson as you hunt for a long-term condo? Well, short-term, I mean, I tell people hey, if you're coming for a few days, or say you're just landing, you haven't booked anything, you want to check things out, stay a few days at one of the, the hotels in the area, and then you can do bolts, you can rent a scooter, and you can zip around and check out these places. Better yet, if you've done a bit of research, been able to narrow it. Um, I mean, I would still say, hey, look at Dus at one or two, because there's expats in both buildings that probably are here because of the channel, like yourself. That might be the reason, and they'll give you their ideas as to maybe where they're looking at. Plus, you'll experience it here. Maybe that's, geez, it's got everything I need. I love, yeah, it's central. It's got this and that, and you might do a month or 3 months or six. Or you might even do a year. But yeah, there's options there. Anywhere from a hotel for a few days to a month. See, because of this time of year and low season, you could even rent a month somewhere, probably still get a deal, and that gives you lots of time to check out other areas. But yeah, you probably want to secure, let's call it a long-term state location before high season. Because if you start in low and end in low, you're much better off going forward. But Facebook pages can help. Cooper's there. Other forums, other chat rooms. There's lots of YouTubers. They can also give you ideas. But I think the big thing is get boots on the ground, rent in low season, and do your long term if you decide to stop and end in low season. Then you have more chances of securing better deals. And cash talks. Timmy P, Terry found much needed moisture. Fortunately, our rating went from extremely high a week ago to low. So far, a smoke-free start to summer. Yeah. So one thing with the rains up there in those areas, he's talking Edmonton. The rains do help the moisture as far as forest fire situations. So that can be in both areas. Actually, Bancroft as well as Edmonton can be troublesome if it's a drought. So the rains do help that way. Timmy P, hope all is well with you. I'm sure it is. Terry found Brooke, great channel and great people. Thank you all. Oh boy, thank you for showing up, Terry, regularly. Okay, there, let's get that there. 1, 2, 3, it's Mr. JD from the Villages. Brooke stayed at the Copacabana, or was it, maybe it's the Copa, for a month in September 25. My first trip to Jomtien. Nice place, but it has a severe elevator problem. Hey, here you go. Now you get your exact tips, guys. Is that the Copacabana, Mr. JD? I'm wondering, or is it just simply called the Copa? Maybe that's the short form for Copacabana. Not enough in long wait and high season. Now that you mention that, I have heard issues on that. It might have been the Copacabana or Riviera, one of the two, with high season wait periods on the elevators. And some of these places got a whack of elevators. It's yeah. Now that could be too back in the day when they had these short-term renters, which kind of is illegal now. You can't do day rentals or week. I think the minimum is you have to have a month in a contract for it in order to get legally to rent in any of these buildings. So now some people say, yeah, but they're not enforcing it. Where others say they are. But yeah, they've gone to facial recognition in a lot of the new buildings, including us at Dusset, which means if you're not registered, so in the past, they would rent from a landlord. Landlord would give them a key. The guy would swipe and walk in. Well, now they can't do that because they got facial recognition. If you want to get on the elevator, you want to get in through the door, your face has to be in their system, meaning you have a valid reason to be here. So that kind of helped do away with those 1 week, 2 week, 3 week rentals. Rick Price, how much is golf there in Jomtien for 9 holes if they have a course? They have a whack of courses here, and they're pretty well state of the art, I would call them, like upscale. It's not as cheap as you think of things in Thailand should be. It's probably, I think, you know what? It's probably cheaper, believe it or not, than the West. But you're probably going to spend $30 to $40 American for 18 holes. And I think it's required to have a Thai caddy. So that's carrying the bag. I think it is, or maybe driving the cart. I'm not even sure, but and they do. So they have a whack of courses. It's probably more affordable than the West, put it that way, although it's not as cheap as you'd hope. And there's a whack of people doing it. Like there's golf groups every probably day of the week going out. So I know here, if you went to that Aussie Kiwi bar, Wombat and Kiwi bar on Beach Road, and just speak to anyone in there, they'll tell you, what day to come out for the groups and how many openings they got and all this, and they just keep adding other tee off times and days of the week, I'm sure, to accommodate everybody. So it's a popular sport here, is my point. There's even golf shops, believe it or not, so not to worry. Neil Hupping, there's somebody new. Hi, everyone from Canada. Just a warning, if you book a place too early for a long-term stay, you can get canceled on. Wow. You'd hope that wouldn't happen. I had 2 places booked 6 months early, canceled, one in Jomtien, one in South Pattaya. Interesting. Well, okay, there's a question. I don't know if they get canceled during low season, but I could see in high season, yeah, shit, somebody's at the door wanting a place, they'll cancel you and take their money right now, not worrying that you'd show up. So he's got a point on that, but I haven't heard much of that, Neil. And obviously, the further out you booked, I mean, I know that Romeo comes annually, and he's the place he goes at, he books it before he leaves for the following year, and he hasn't had a problem. But yeah, obviously, you have, so that would be something to watch out for, guys. Okay, we're an hour and a half, a little over, so maybe we'll start winding it down here. Where are we? Oh yeah, we're getting there. Vegas Chris, Rick Price, how many golf courses from cheap to expensive? A lot of golfing groups you can get involved with as well. Yeah, he's right on that. So there's a lot of courses. Prices can vary. I mean, they have PGA rated courses here. I think the Thailand Open or whatever it is, and actually I think the women have a professional tournament here that's recognized throughout the world, and luckily a Thai lady won it, so she got a nice payday. But yeah, I haven't played them, but the guys that I have, that David, a Canadian, he was at that one where the LPGA was played at, saw this lady, and he said, "Oh, Brooke, it was amazing. Like the course, probably the best he's ever seen." So they're state of the art here too. Terry Fallon, whipping boy, that's so funny. But I think he enjoys it. Yeah, he does, I'm sure. Vegas, he tells me, I'll get you back, Brookie. Don't you worry. So he does usually. Cooper, the human punching bag. These are just expressions I picked up in the 70 odd years. Rick Price, Vegas Chris, similar to US golf prices, I would say probably less. Like your top courses in the West are like in the hundreds of dollars, where here, it might be 100 or a little less. So I would say it's definitely cheaper here. But you're not going to find a 9-hole course for $10. Put it that way. I mean, my first golf membership was $20 for the whole summer. I think it was 12. It's a long time ago. No, you're not going to find that. But hey, courses are great. It's a female caddy, by the way. They're apparently, nice to see. So yeah, it's a kind of a win-win. And I know, like, David loves golfing here, so he's not concerned. He watches his money, but golfing, yeah, he's twice a week, I think he's out. And here's one good thing. Because I asked him, I says, "Do you do any go out for a bucket of balls anywhere?" He says, "Brookie," he says, "that's the deal. You can get a whole bucket of balls for like $3, and so for like $6, you can hit balls all day long till your arms are worn out. So that's better, way better here than in the West. I know the West was starting to get expensive on a bucket of balls, but yeah." Vegas Chris, Rick Price, pretty much like I said, plenty of sports bars on the daily that have group outings and most get better deals. I would think when you join a group like that and they have these booked tea times that you do get a deal because they're bringing 20, 30, 40, members to golf. So yeah, they're going to get a deal. Binrad, what is the cost for 30-year lease on land when buying the house? I'm single and will live alone. Well, that's a good question. I know of no one doing that. I'm pretty sure it's available. I think the 30 years the max you can go from all the reports you hear. So forget, but get a good lawyer, a Thai lawyer, not anyone else, and but maybe before you do that, see if you can just rent the house on its own short term to make sure everything works out. You don't want to get into a long-term lease in an area that, geez, I didn't know the dogs would be barking every night, or, oh, I didn't know they were planning this bypass here, with trucks. And yeah, there could be issues, and I'm sure you wouldn't. I think you'd probably come here, you'd rent, get your feet wet and see. But if you're looking at, say, renting a house, and say you did, say you rented for 6 months or a year, loved it, and you went to the landlord and said, hey, I'd like to lease this for 30 years, you're going to get a hell of a deal because he's got certainty, and you're leasing the land. Well, you're basically leasing the house, probably the land to go with it, but to make it your property, and it would give you the certainty over that period of time, and it would be a yearly payment, I'm assuming. I don't know if I'd want to pay 30 years in advance, although you'd get a hell of a discount, wouldn't you? But then, what if something happened? Whereas if you just paid yearly, you might have to put a deposit, but hey, that might be the way to go. But I know of no one doing that. I've never met an expat that's done a 30-year. I've met expats that have met Thai ladies that are buying property, but then I guess who's owning it? The Thai lady. And obviously they're looking at a secure relationship when they do that. So, and again, to do that, you'd probably want to know her for quite a while. I wouldn't just say 6 months. I wouldn't even say a year. You'd want to have 2 or 3 year relationship going before you'd consider that. Vegas Chris, Rick Price. I go out of iRovers down on LK Metro and usually pay 40 to 50 bucks US for the same amount of courses in the States. Okay. So I guess that's similar to what he would be paying. And okay, let's here we go. Let's kind of wind up these comments, guys. We're getting on here. Nomad Jack, our condo's name is Rimhade. Jumped in Beach Condos is the name of our condominium. 2 bed, 2 bath, 2 balconies, $20K. That's a deal. So yeah, that would definitely be one to look at. I'll even look at that, Nomad, but I'm sure the members would take a look too. I haven't really heard of that one before, but Rick Moat, good morning, Brooke. Hope all's well with you and the wife. Yes, she's still resting a bit. I told her to stay in there, not to worry. She'll have her iPad and probably doing her workout now. Yeah, our bedroom is huge. These master bedrooms in these units are absolutely huge. So she's got a workout area on the other side of the bed that's almost as a king-size bed itself would fit. So it's quite big. Blister from your sister worked at Nellis on the flight line, blistering heat. And Nellis Airport, that's Washington, isn't it? Somewhere up there. Mammy Taylor, good morning, Brooke. I'm doing a great job. Thank you, Mammy. Hopefully I will be in Bangkok in the last of July with Zandra. Okay, there's a couple of them coming. Hope to see you, Cooper and Darlena. Well, we'll look forward to it. Hopefully maybe at a meet and greet. Yeah, that's always have the new people show up in there. It's great to see them. Neil Hupping, I stayed at Centric Sea in Pattaya. Really enjoyed it. I think I've heard of that one. If you want to be in the city, close to both Central and Terminal 21. Yep. Quiet if you are on a high floor. Okay. Rick Price, Vegas Chris, thank you. Encouraging for the budget. Yes. Probably talking about the golf. Rick Price, thumbs up, guys. Hit that button. Jetter says, any updates on your health insurance? No, not yet. Well, I quit smoking 6 months ago, so that was good. That's an update. So I can, yeah. Uh, I I'm still researching. I'm sending emails out basically and getting some responses. Trying to lose a bit of weight to start, so that when I do a checkup, it's probably better suited. But no, I'm healthy. I feel good, so I haven't. And I do self-insure. At least I have been. So when I mentioned that earlier in the priors, I was more interested in. I wonder what they're going to charge. So I know as you get older and they have cutoffs, as to age, as to when they would insure you. So, but again, I'm not too worried. Um, some people would be, but I don't seem to be one of them. But if and when I do, I drove by McCallum, went in, but he wasn't there, so and I prefer to deal with him. So um, I'll definitely update you guys. I know I've been threatening to do that for a while. Binrad, do you have a link for Mr. Singh? Thai Visa Pattaya, I believe, is if you Google it or Facebook page it, and Thai Thai Visa Pattaya, and just like it sounds, that would get you his Facebook page. I believe it's Facebook, and yeah, just message him out of that. Cooper has more of that at his fingertips, but I mean, I've got him on, I think, WhatsApp, Line app, and Messenger, so I think I can get all of them pretty well anyway. But I just look for the last one when I check those, and that's the one I typically end up using. But he's pretty good. Like, he responds quickly. I messaged him last night about meeting today. He said message me in the morning, and then I will when the live stream's over. And he thought maybe 1 o'clock, so I'll confirm that. Rev Doc, hit the likes, everyone. Yeah, I think One Stop Visa was the other agent, and I think that's in Pattaya. Quite a few of the members, I think, use him as well. Terry Fallon, guys, who thinks Coop is cleaning up in the casino once again? Yeah, that'll be interesting. Seems to have good luck. Yeah. Now it's funny. He's told me, because I'm not a gambler, and I said, "Really? Are you sure?" Yeah. He says, "Look, he says he sets his limit, and he's good at that. So he's got his limit. He takes the same amount every trip. Most trips, believe it or not, I think once in 5 or 6 cruises, he came back empty. But other than that, he comes back with some of what he took, not all." And then I think once or twice he came back with a little more than what he took. So he's not too bad at it. But as he tells you, the key for him is getting these free cruises and free upgrades. So he's staying like now in you almost say a penthouse suite for nothing. You pay the port fees and taxes. Nobody gets out of them. But even that works out to like under $1,000 a head for those 10-day cruises in the best unit they've got. So yeah, it's he's got enough of those points now that it pays, and you get them by gambling. So he knows that it's not my cup of tea. David Lowe, there he is, Davey. I know Davey well. Click on the like button at the window number 3. Thanks for the live stream and info. Missing the land of smiles. Yeah, David's waiting to get back. David's problem is he's quite a car collector, and he's not sure what he's going to do with these babies. If he wants to move here probably full time, but I said, Davey, maybe time to cut the strings and see. It's funny, guys. The younger kids now, they don't have the interest in the dusters and swingers and cudas that my generation did. Going forward, like the 60s and late 60s, early 70s, the Mustangs, and we lived on those things for them, and then we collected them as we got older. But the next generation coming up, I don't see they have any interest. And once the older generation is passed on, who the hell's going to want the damn car? They don't want that. The young kids, different times, eh? World's changing. Rick Price, I saw a video about a couple who live on cruise ships year round. They spend $2,000 a month because they get discounts from gambling in the casino. I think there are including wins and losses. I've heard those stories, and yeah, and I've heard people that do like back to back to back cruises. So they'll, in fact, some of them don't change their room. They go out, they come back, and then they stay and they do it again. Others will get off a ship, go on to another ship, that day in the same port, maybe for another cruise out somewhere. And so people do love it. And I've been on 3 cruises in my life, and I did love them. And so, yeah, there's ways around it. Like anything, you do your research. And Rick Price. So sounds like a good way to get discounted cruises. Yeah, that's what he does. Cooper does that. Oh, Terry Fallon, Brooke, I'd pay $158 a month for Starlink. Okay, best download for $158. Crazy prices compared to Thailand. Yeah, but where Terry isn't bankrupt, maybe that's the best way to get internet, especially if he's in a cabin in the boonies. I'm sure he'll get pretty good speeds with that too. And Thailand does offer Starlink, so does Philippines for that matter. Mike Doty and Little Mike, I hope Coop is enjoying his vacation. Yeah, that'll be funny. I'm sure he is. Rick Price, you guys do play off each other well. Yeah. Sometimes I'm not playing though. Can you travel through flights with a Starlink in your carry-on? I don't see why not. They're having issues now with these chargers, battery chargers, I guess, or cell phone chargers, battery packs. I think they've been banned in any check-in cargo on Thai flights. So you have to put it in your carry-on, and technically you're not supposed to use it when you're on the plane. So read up on that. Pink Slip says, Brooke, Solana got crushed. Oh, yeah, you held off last week. Now can you get a better buy? I did buy some on Friday at, I think it was $8.80 or something, $8.90. Yeah, I'm slowly building my Solana bag. Still have some dry powder. John Bain, there he is. Greetings from Wahin. Okay, greetings to you, John. Blister for your sister. Is the bot bus 20 bot now temporarily or full time? Okay, so I had heard it went to 20. Well, it used to be 10. And then during high season, and then after this fuel crisis, apparently they boosted it to 20. And now I heard it went back to 15, and maybe that's where it's going to stay. But I have a lot of the expats pay 20 and they just walk away. So it's not the end of the world. I don't know for a fact that it's back from 20. I just heard that rumor, and I haven't used the bot bus. I should ask Jackie. Hang on one second. I'm going to ask her. Honey, what did you pay on? Sorry. She's what's the bot bus cost you? How much do you pay on the bot bus? 15. Okay. Yeah, 15. So she pays 15, I guess. I don't know if she pays the 20 but it's 15 cost. Pink Slip, Cetus is nice, yes, but it's tight, not good for long term. Okay. Great views, no fast internet. There you go. There's one. They have old technology. That's something else to check. I have heard that story with old technology in some of the buildings. They weren't fiber optic wired, I guess it is. So that's something. Here's what I like about Dusset and why I've stayed is this internet is the fiber optic. The water pressure is fantastic. There's underground parking for my scooter. There's enough space. There's king beds. Air cons work great. The electric is very reasonable. These are all the things, should you move, you want to make sure the new place has them. Because once you're used to something, especially as you get older, you don't want to change that easily. And boy, you'd be disappointed if you moved and you found out it didn't work as good as back in the old place. You'd be cursing. Pink Slip, Riviera and Copacabana have great amenities. The views are beautiful. The buildings are opulent. The rooms are too tight for long-term living, in my view. I was in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and what he says there is right on, and it was in the Copacabana. and you couldn't beat the views, but I thought, Jesus, for a one bedroom, one bath, the one bedrooms here are bigger. It might have been 32 meter, where here they're like 35 and a half. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. I, didn't see the bedroom, but yeah, it's what you're used to. Biggest Chris, Bitcoin said it was going to below 60. It hit 59,999. Yeah, so if it can hang in at 60, that seems to be let's hope the support levels there. Thorn Bismarck, hi, Brooke and chat. Filed my 90-day non-immigrant visa from Ottawa on Friday. Now will just be a waiting game, 47 days till I arrive. Well, good on you. Yeah, you'll love it here. I think you can go right to get your bank account right off the bat, and yeah, everything to go with it. Vegas Chris, I said I was a buyer at 60. Well, good for you. David Lowe, hey, Brooke, you're doing a great kid. Keep up the great work. CTA crew is all here because we're not all there. Yeah, you'd rather be here, wouldn't you? Terry Fallon, David Lowe, CTA group's the best. Okay, here we go. How much we got left? Okay, we're slowly getting there. All right, guys, we're almost 2 hours here. Jesus, we got things to do. Wooly Bully, with all the great food in Thailand, do your wives still make lumpia and traditional? You bet they do. They're damn good cooks. I've never met a guy who had a Filipino couldn't cook, and the problem is that the food tastes like more. How are businesses holding up? Says Neil Hupping. That can be an issue in Thailand. Some of them, if they don't make their money during high season, some of them ain't going to be here during low. So you do see changeover. But expat owned ones with, say, Thai ladies, they're probably a little better off because the expats just subsidize them till the next high season, I'm assuming. Vegas Chris, I'm sure the time you get to this part of the chat, time has run out, so I will say goodbyes to all you and Brooke. You did a great job. Yes, thank you. See you Wednesday. You betcha. Says Vegas Chris from Las Wages. See you all back Wednesday, boys and girls. Capstone, what are some pros and cons of staying in Jampia via Hua Hin or of the other retirement havens? Probably not as exciting as the villages in Florida. Yeah, no, the villages was nice, but, bit of money. I like Jampian. Hua Hin is good too. A little more laid back in Hua Hin, I would say. Jampian's nice. The weather is ideal here, and we're in that cove, as I think that helps with not having storms or rain too bad. You get enough to keep it green, but I think one of the big things is that if you want to be in the big malls, you're 20 minutes, patio area. If you want to be in the nice seafood restaurant on a fishing village south of here, Banks Array, 20 minutes. And that's quieter, patio, more upbeat and things happening. Beautiful beaches, but you have that in Hua Hin as well. I stayed in Hua Hin for a night, and I think it's more of a laid-back, older community in Hua Hin. At least that's what I've heard. But there's people that have gone from here there and love it, and there's people who've gone from here there and come back. So it's something for everybody in Thailand. Neil Hupping, how are businesses holding up in tough times with the war keeping people away? Well, the car companies are still strong. There's a lot of them south of Bangkok or east of Bangkok, and the GDP is going up, which is good. Inflation apparently has been tamed, but I don't know. I don't trust those numbers much here. I think the average Thai is in debt, and that can hurt an economy. They seem to be heavily in debt compared to other Asian countries. As far as businesses, they're quite entrepreneurial, the average Thai, in my opinion. So if you see an empty store, it's probably not staying empty too long. So the ones I frequent, I like, and I haven't seen any of them go out of business. So the food carts are changing. They'll come and go, but somebody new pulls a food cart in with something new and exciting. So, but yeah, I haven't noticed a downturn in the Thai economy yet dramatically. Pink Slip says, Copacabana is nice and opulent. Rooms are too tight and expensive, not suited for long term. Okay, so it seems to be a short term recommendation for that. It was the Copacabana, says 123. It's Mr. JD. So he must have stayed there. Terry Fallon, Vegas Chris, agreed. Thanks, Brooke, for stepping in and doing a great job in the live. To all in the chat, see you next time. We'll see you, Terry. Timmy P, great job. Thank you, Terry. Timmy. We'll see you on the flip side. Vegas Chris, LPGA tournament is yearly, and this past year, local Gino Thickenbottico actually won it. Yeah, and went to #1 in the world. Wow, I didn't know she hit #1 after that win. Good for her. They're very proud of the Thais that do something on the world stage like that. So she would have been recognized, probably in Parliament, believe it or not. So. Thorn Bismarck, have a good day, Brooke, and chat. Getting a little nervous as my retirement gets closer. Don't be. You probably got more than you can ever spend. Can't wait till I meet all the great people living there in Jomtien. Yep, we'll be here. Roger Walker, thanks, Brooke. Always great info. Yeah, we try to make it interesting. Vegas Chris, this is the Honda LPGA at Siam Country Club. And I've driven by that Siam. I mean, it's even an opulent entranceway. So you can tell they do it right here. Jetter says the cost of leasing land is definitely it depends answer. Location. Yeah. Vegas Chris, Nellis Air Force Base. Oh, lost wages. Okay, good for you. Thanks for that. Mike Doty, great show, Becky. God bless. Same to you, Mikey and little Mike. Vegas Chris, 83 likes. Well, we're getting there. That's not bad. Pounded peoples. Show Coop that Brooke can get 100 on his own. That would be nice. I think we normally get 100 on the Mondays, so that would be nice if we could reach it. Rick Price, Wednesday, Brooke is my bookie. Okay. Alfa Romeo, Vegas Chris, Rovers, love the breakfast menu. Okay, there you go. Rovers. Yeah, Romeo knows his spots around. He's been here long enough. David Lowe, I use Mark and his crew at One Stop Visa. Yeah, that's the other one at the beach. And End of Soy 6. I like them. Yeah, like I obviously have used Sing since I got here. He's professional. I like that. A lot of people like Mark at One Stop. They both seem to know their stuff. So, take your pick. Competition is good. Jetter says, FYI, Bolt was granted a 1-month reprieve. Okay, well, there you go. There's an update until July 1 to resolve the issues. And I'll bet you they get resolved. Yeah, Bolt's important. So, Vegas Chris, Alfa Romeo, Rovers has great food and always show the NFL games. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, if you're here and you like to see, the sports, you're probably going to have to work your timetable because I love the football. And so to see the night games, you got to be early, and the 8:30 on a Thursday night, it'll start here at 8:30 typically. So yeah, in the morning. Now the 1:00 games, my God, it's after midnight and you're up looking. So usually that'll be at home. Alfa Romeo, yep, he says, okay. Learjet, does Cooper's wisdom on losing a lot? No, we already had that. That was posted before, Lear. Are you a what do they call troll? I wonder. Alfa Romeo, they show all the NHL hockey games. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, last I heard that Vegas was up 2-1 in that back home. Vegas and Carolina. I don't know if that's the final or that's just the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe that is the final. Vegas Chris, yes, sir, and right across from my Las Vegas Go-Go and around the corner from the Las Vegas Beer Garden. They must know that's my neighborhood. Okay, he's talking about lost wages. Terry Fallon, hello, Alpha. How you doing, buddy? Okay, back and forth. Alpha says, Vegas Chris, and the Time Bar is another good place for food and cheap brewskis. Guys, you can get bottled beer here for 39 baht. That's a little over $1. So, and I think it pretty well runs every day. And there's more than one of them. So, yep, if you know where to go. 1, 2, 3, it's Mr. JD. The Honda LPGA comes to Siam every February. Okay, and I went to it and it was great. About 5,000 of my best friends were there. Yeah, that it's well attended. Rick Price, so if I have a retiree visa without multiple entry, can I only leave and come back once? No. in the year, or would they make an exception if I had to leave? Yeah, you can leave more than once. It's just every time you leave on a single entry, you pay. It's, I think, 1,900 baht currently. And so I did the quick math. Well, if I did 3 trips, I'm better to have the multiple. And when you're here, you don't know. You might, you got Vietnam to see. Maybe I'm over the Philippines with Jackie once. Maybe I'm in Australia to see the granddaughter. Back in Canada to see the daughter. So you don't know that. But once you get here and you get settled, I don't know. Do I want to travel? I haven't used them more than once a year, so I'm just going to pay the single entry. And if I do a second flight, I just pay it twice. You can pay it as many times as you want with that single entry. It's just that you pay 1,900 baht each time. With the multiple, you never pay. You just go and come as many times as you want. So it's a nice option, but you make the call on how many times you're going to go. Alfa Romeo, Terry, all good here. Hope all is well with you and the wife. See you soon in the land of smiles. I think Alpha's coming in July. Hopefully one day, my friend. Yeah, you'll get here, Terry. Wooly Bully, great job, Brookie. Yes, he is. Wooly Bully. Sam the Sham and the Pharaoh sang that song. Live, learn with Mikey from Michigan. Another great live stream. Thank you, Brooke. Well, look forward to getting back here, Mikey. Multi Mike, and we'll have a coffee down at the Mix 88 bar. Alfa Romeo, thanks again, Brooke, for another great live stream. See you on Wednesday. Tell Jackie I said hello. Okay, yeah, Wednesday. Sorry, I thought you meant here in Thailand, you rascal. He's counting the days. Pink slip. In the next 5 years, all these big condo projects are all going to be completed at the same time. Yeah. Basically, who is moving here? And you know what? It'll be some before and some after and some during that, because they're starting construction now on others that I just shakes my, and lots of construction getting started. What do I mean? They're clearing the land. The fence has gone up with you can't see behind type of thing. Cranes are getting set up. So yeah, it's there's going to be a vast majority of condos coming online. Who's moving here? I think they're foreigners or bidding up and buying the 49%, and apparently that pays all the bills. So who cares? They sell that 49 typically fairly easy. They don't care if the rest sits, I guess. 30,000 condos coming on the market. Is there something big happening? Obviously, demand. There's supply and demand now. I don't know if that demand will slack off because people are exiting their home countries. So there's probably a good demand there. Now they're trying to fill it, but I think they might overdo it from what I've seen. Meaning we'll get deals for rentals and probably buying if you were so inclined. Rev Doc, great show, Brooke. You make the CTA crew proud. See you Wednesday. Peace and blessings. Same to you. Here we go. Getting in there. Jerry Fallon, thanks, Brooke. All in the live chat. See you next time. Okay, now I lost it. So something happened. I can't see. Well, okay, wait, maybe I can. Where is it? No, down. Bear with me here. Oh, we're getting near the end, anyways. Vegas is up 2 on the Stanley Cup Finals. It says Vegas, Chris. 2-goal lead. Oh yeah, someone did 5 minutes, so should be up. Snowbird says Capstone. You just had me at Roddle. Thanks again, Brookie. Says Vegas. You and Jackie have a great day. Thank you, Brooke. And I think that's the end of it, guys. So I'll just sign off now and hit that like button. Thanks again. If you can, I've kind of lost my video here, but yeah, we'll see you Wednesday, and I'll see if I can hit that outro song here. Let me
Woke up in the land of smiles, sun shining bright. Elephants wandering through the morning light. Temples glow with gold, the air's alive. Thailand's magic got me feeling so high. From the markets buzzing, colors so bold, to the stories in the streets, ancient and old. Every corner's got a vibe, it's calling my name. Cooper's out here, and I'm loving the game. Coopersthaiadventure, oh what a thrill. Chasing the beauty from the sea to the hills. Coopersthaiadventure, can't get enough. Thailand's got my heart, it's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. Golden beaches, sand so soft and white. Crystal waves crashing under starlit nights. Snorkel in the cold, dance in the tide. Every moment's a wave, I just wanna ride. Pad thai sizzling, spice lights up my soul. Mango sticky rice, yeah, it makes me whole. Tom Yum's got that kick, flavor so divine. Thailand's food's a feast and it's blowing my mind. Coopersthaiadventure, oh what a thrill. Chasing the beauty from the sea to the hills. Coopersthaiadventure, can't get it enough. Thailand's got my heart, it's still my heart. It's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. It's the land that I love. From Chiang Mai's mountains to Koh Samui's shore, every step's a story, I'm craving for more. Smiles all around, the people so kind. Thailand's a treasure that's one of a kind. Floating markets, lanterns in the sky. Festivals that spark like the stars up high. Jungles whisper secrets, rivers carve the land. Cooper's holding Thailand in the palm of my hand. Elephants roam in the sunset's blaze. Every day's a wonder lost in a daze. From spicy street eats to the ocean's embrace. Thailand's a paradise I'll never erase. Cooper's Thai.